Hi, this is the AQA Functional Skills Level 1 Mathematics Paper 1. In other words, it's the calculator paper, and we're looking at the January 2021, and we have, as always, 30 minutes to have a go. So let's start. Question 1 is asking for the smallest number, and to do that we compare the digits. In this case we start with the whole number, so we have here 7, 7, 7, 7, so that doesn't really help us. So we'll now look at the first decimal place, and the first decimal place in here is 0, 1, 0, 0. 1 is the biggest one, we're looking for smallest, so we're going to cross that off. So we have 0, 0, 0. Let's move to the second decimal place, 9, 3, and 4, and you can see that 3 is the smallest out of all of those, so we've found the one we wanted. We're moving on to question 2, and it says write in words these numbers. So we have 10,000, 10,300, and 24. Always check that it actually does match. 10,324, and it does look good. Excellent. We go on to question 3, and question 3 is asking for the range, and hopefully you remember the range is the largest number, and the largest number in this case is 9, and we subtract the smallest number, in this case 2. 9 take away 2 leaves us with 7, so the answer for this question is 7. Question 4 is a lovely one. It's a division, and dividing by 100 is lovely because we have basically 718.6, and when we divide, the numbers will get smaller. If we divide by 100, we have 2 zeros here, so we're going to have 1, 2, so the dot is now going to go there, and so our answer is 7.186. Let's have a look at question number 5. Question number 5 presents a calculation. However, it says round each of the numbers and estimate the answer. And we need to show our working, so you can't just do it in your head. So we have 9.8. If we round that, 9.8 rounds very nicely to 10. There's a multiplication, so we copy the multiplication, and 4.1 rounds very nicely to 4. And in that case, nice and easy, 10 times 4 will give us an answer of 40. You can write it there also if you want to, but make sure you always put your answer in the answer line for them to see where it is. 2-mark question, one for your actual calculation and one for showing your answer. Question number 6. Here we have a shape. They're asking for the perimeter, and the perimeter is the outside of the shape. Check that each of the sides has a value: 4, 3, 8, 7, 12, 10. Excellent. So when we work out the perimeter, we're going to add all those together. 10. Doesn't matter where you start, just make sure you have all of them written down when you do it. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I haven't missed any off. And then depends how you like to add. I'm going to group my pairs. So here I've had 12 plus 8 will be 20. Another 10. 30, and 7 would be 37, plus a 3 would be 40, plus 4 would be 44, so that adds to 44. Don't rush it, take your time, make sure you get it correct. So the answer is 44 for that one. They've already put the centimetres, so we don't need to write it down. If it's missing, we'd write that down. Moving on to question 7. Okay, so now we're on to section B. These are those longer questions, and section 7 is saying that Carly is going shopping for her son's birthday party, and she wants to buy paper plates and paper cups. She observes that the plates cost £1.50 for 1 pack, and the pack has 8 plates in it, and the cups cost £1.20 for 1 pack, and the pack has 6 cups in it. She wants to buy 40 plates and 24 cups, Carly says the total cost will be less than £12. Is she correct? You must show your workings. 5 marks, so let's take it calmly. So the first thing we need to know is how many packs we want to buy. So if we want to buy 40 plates and they come in packs of 8, you could count up and see how many, but a quick way would be to do a division. Okay, 40 divided by 8 tells you need 5. And you could check it by then saying 5 times 8 is 40, that's true. So we need to buy 5 packs of plates. Okay. Now 1 pack costs £1.50. So £1.50. Use whichever style of multiplication you want to do, but I know we're going to multiply that by 5. You could do repeated addition where you have £1.50 plus £1.50 plus £1.50 plus £1.50 plus £1.50, and you have 5 of them and you add them up, okay? But I like my multiplication, so I'm going to do that. So 5 lots of nothing is nothing. 5 lots of 5 is 25. So I'm going to carry the 2 right wherever you want your 2. I'm going to put it up there so it doesn't get mixed up with anything. And then we say 5 times 1 is 5 plus the 2 here, so 5 plus 2 is 7. And clearly the answer is not going to be £750. That's way too much, especially we're talking that each pack is £1.50. And the reason is, here we have 2 decimal places, so I'm going to put my 2 decimal places in. And so it actually turns out to be £7.50 to buy the plates. We'll do the same thing for the cups. And the cups, they want to buy 24, so we're going to find out how many we need to pack, how many packs we need to buy. So how many 6s fit into 24, and you could count up, you could go 6, 12 and count up, but in this case it turns out to be 4 packs. Doesn't matter how you write, but as long as you work out that you need 5 packs of plates and 4 packs of cups, that will give you a mark. And now we need to work out how much that's going to cost. So each pack costs £1.20. We're going to multiply it by 4, and once again you could do your repeated addition, but I'm going to say 4 lots of nothing is nothing. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. And again we have 2 decimal places there, so I'm going to put 2 decimal places. So that's the cost for the plates. That's the cost for the plates and for the cups. We're going to add them together. Now really I should have written them together and that would have saved some space, but I'm going to do it up here to save some space then. So we're going to put here, and I'm going to add them together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 and 8 together is 13. Carry 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Keep your decimal dots in the right place. That is how much it's going to cost. Now, luckily I can get rid of this, but don't worry if you can't get rid of it, you can just cross things out or leave it there, it doesn't matter. But I want to now say, is she correct? It will cost less than £12. No, it will cost more. No, she's not right. Make sure it's very clear your answer wherever you write it. 5 marks. You need to know that there's 5 packs of plates, 4 packs of cups. You need to find out how much it costs for all the plates and all the cups, and then you put it all together, and in this case it turns out to be more than the allocated amount. Okay, good. Let's move on to question number 7b. And 7b, it says that Carly gives each child a bag of sweets. She buys a 1 kilogram box of sweets. She puts 50 grams of these sweets into each bag. How many bags can she fill with 1 kilogram of boxes? A box of sweets. So you notice that you're working with kilograms and grams, and they're not the same, so we're going to have to make them the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to change 1 kilogram, and 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. And then I'm going to find out how many of those 50s make 1,000. Now this is up to you. There's different ways. You could go counting 50 plus another 50 is 100 plus another 50 is 150. And you could go counting, you could write it down and then see how many make it. And you'll get there, but it'll be quite a long way to do it. So I'm going to do a division, because when you want to find out how many of something you have out of the total, you can do division. So you could do a division like this, and you're going to divide it by 50. Okay, now that's a division I'm going to do, but when you actually write your division, this is the way we write it. Put the 1,000 in the middle underneath, and we're going to divide it by 50. And then you say, well, does 50 fit into 1? No, it doesn't. Does 50 fit into 10? Because now I have 10. No, because 10's too small. Does 50 fit into 100? Well, it does, because 2 lots of 50 make 100. And there's no remainder. And then we have 0. Does 50 fit into 0? No. So you can see the answer is 20 bags. But there are many other ways you could do it. You could have cancelled. You could have written it as a fraction. Cancel the 0 on the top and the bottom. And then you can see how many 5s make 100. And that's 20. Okay, so there's different ways of doing it. On to part 7c. And 7c says Carly makes a drink by mixing orange juice and water in the ratio of 1 to 6. So she has orange juice, water in the ratio 1 to 6. And notice orange was first, water second. So the first one's orange, the second one's water. And it says she uses 2 litres of orange juice. So in the orange juice column, I'm going to write 2. But they haven't said how much water, but there's no worry, I can work that out. Because I noticed that on this side it's doubled, because 1 times 2 is 2, and so to keep it balanced on this side we're also going to double it. So 6 times 2 gives us 12. So 2 litres of orange juice and 12 litres of water. But the question wasn't how much water will she use, the question is how many litres of drink does she make. So in total she'll have 2 plus 12, 2 plus 12 will give us 14 litres. If you want, you could just make a little bit saying that you've added it to get 14 there, but those numbers you might be able to happily do it in your head. 12, 13, 14 to get 14. Okie dokie. Turning over. And we're on to the last question, and here we have question 7d, and we know it's the last question. It says here, end of the questions. We have a formula, a mixture of words and numbers telling us what to do. It says that charge will equal £50 plus £30 multiplied by the number of hours that something is hired for. I haven't looked at the question, but I can read that without the question. And the question says Carly wants to hire a hall for the party. The charge for hiring the hall is worked out here. So how many hours does she hire it for? Multiplied by 30, then add 50 will give you the charge. Why did I do it in that order? Because if you remember, you always do the brackets first. After brackets, you do any powers. After any powers, you will do your multiplication and your division. And at the very end, you'll do the adding and subtracting. So we will do the multiplication first, because it's first, and then we'll do the adding. Now, normally we'd work out, that tells us how many hours, and we'll work out the charge. But in this case, it says Carly is charged 140 for hiring the hall. How many hours does she hire it for? Now, if you're really good at maths, you could work backwards and say, well, we know the answer is 40. And if you're working backwards, you get 40, take away 50 would give, 140 take away 50 would give you 90. 90 divided by 30 would give you 3. And you know that the answer here is 3 hours. But that's more like level 2 stuff. So if you're not happy with that, you can take a guess. And so you might guess, and you might say, and think about a party. How long would a party be? And a party could be short, like 1 hour. It could be long, like 3 hours, 4 hours. But it's not going to be super, super long, especially if it's for children. Okay, so make a little guess. And I'm going to say, as my first guess, if I don't know, I'm perhaps going to try 2 hours. Which means that when I do this calculation, I'm going to say, sorry about that, 50 plus 30 times 2. And as we said, when we work that out, you do the first bit, which is multiplication. So 30 times 2, if you double 30, you get 60. 60 for this bit here. And here we had 50, so you add them together. 50 and 60 would say 110. Okay, and then we compare it, and no, that's actually a bit more. So 2 hours was too short. So let's try 3 hours. And so we write down 50 plus 30 times 3. And then we say 30 times 3 is going to be 90. Plus another 50. I'm just writing it over there. I normally write it below, but there's not much space, so I said 50 plus 30 times 3 is 90. And if you do that, you're going to get 140. And then you notice that's exactly what they said. So we know that to calculate that we use 3 hours. So we're going to write here 3 hours. Don't worry if you didn't guess around here and you try something like 5. When you did it, you'd end up with a big number, and then you know that you need to reduce and try something smaller, and bit by bit you get there. And they have actually given space so you can work it down there if you didn't know that. Okay, brilliant, excellent. I hope that's useful. See you next time. Bye.